Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, I want to join with other members in expressing sympathy to the people of Australia and to the family of the late Gough Whitlam at his passing at the grand old age of 98 this morning. He was the most outstanding in terms of flair, in terms of dynamism and achievement Prime Minister of the last couple of generations in the lucky country. And he had the advantage of coming at the end of the very staid Menzies period when Australia was ready to come in to the latter half of the 20th century and to take some positive and bold steps. And we've heard that range of reforms that he unleashed over a 3-year period referred to by so many speakers in the House this afternoon. But Mr Speaker, if you look at Australia during that time, it was also the time of a remarkable cultural renaissance. Australian literature, film, the good things in life, food, wine, all flourished. And there seemed to be an air that the confidence and the style that the Whitlams unleashed had let these things out of the bottle in Australia, and Australia had truly come of age as a country. Like all grand men, he was not without fault. He was imperious, he dominated his cabinet both physically and intellectually, and on one famous occasion during a very frustrating debate was heard to proclaim, "God protect me from short people," which was a reference to the ministers around him. And during the 1974 campaign, his second campaign, he insisted on the electoral slogan, "Gough's going great," only until such time as the Liberals rephrased it as "Gough's going great." He will always be remembered, as others have mentioned, for the circumstances of his dismissal. But, Mr Speaker, the fact that nearly 40 years after that event, we still talk about it, we still recall it vividly, we remember the scenes on the steps of Parliament House, we remember the intricate movements around it, show what a remarkable man Gough Whitlam was. He continued to be active right until the middle of his 90s. I recall recently speaking in the last couple of years to a publisher who was saying that she was publishing some work for him, and she couldn't keep up with the pace of sending him drafts one evening to have the corrected drafts back the following morning from this nonagenarian gentleman, a man of remarkable intellect and skill, a huge loss to the people of Australia, and a man, sir, who I think did a lot in his time to bridge the gap with the relationship with New Zealand. The Canberra Pact, signed in 1944, had long since ceased to be operative between our two countries. Whitlam and Kirk renewed it. And I recall people have referred to Big Norm. I sat behind the two of them by about 2 rows at the opening of the Christchurch Commonwealth Games, and I have to say to the House, when they stood up, Gough Whitlam was bigger, taller, larger, and that was a considerable achievement. A great Australian, a great man. He will be missed. His country deservedly is proud of his achievement.
Mr Speaker.
David Seymour.
Mr Speaker, I come to this debate with